What's up, Fantasy Freaks? It's Rob, the NRL Fantasy Freak, back with my round 17 review. Starting to lose a bit of momentum with these videos, but I've got some stuff to show you, so let's get into it. So, round 17, 954 points. Pretty solid score. Happy with that. Only lost like 25 ranks, so yeah, not too bad considering Couchman with 19. Kolomatangi 36, Aitken 42, like just lots of low scores. The Shining Light, Hughes with 80, awesome, and Brayley with 58. Didn't play the full 80, so that's concerning, but hopefully when he comes back, he pumped out a lot of tackles, so hopefully it's just he needed a rest. Going through the rest of the team, Clark with 57, May was the right captaincy choice, 152, Haas with 49, burned a few people, Tapani with 49, another low one. As mentioned, Aitken and Kolomatangi poor for the Rabbitohs. Katoa 62 and Farnworth 66. Dolphins are definitely holding up the team. Fogarty with 59 was good to see, and Lucas with 45, a down one as well. Carraz 47, and as we've all been burnt with him getting named in Origin, 18th man. Garrick 48 and Turbo 49 is solid from both of them. And Tavanga 36, low, and he's named at hooker, so that's not great. And finally with 35, regretting bringing him in. Should have just kept King Tongia. Would have got me an extra 12 points and saved me a trade. So yeah. Anyway, let's move on. So I thought I'd give you an update on the NRL Fantasy Pro app comp. There's $1,000 for first place. I was coming ninth after the round 16 and I'm into 8th. So I've got a chance. So I'll keep you updated on how I'm tracking on that to the end of the season. So I did some analysis on the top 10 teams in the NRL Fantasy Pro app comp, and I was 132 points behind first after round 16, and I was 2 trades behind the lowest, and my squad value is 340k behind the top team, so it's only half a gun, so not too bad. I went through their teams and identified the key threats to my team. Savala being very highly owned with 8, Drinkwater with 7, Cleary 6, AFB 5, KPP 4, Duncan 4, Metcalf's heard a couple of coaches, Cook with 2, and Hosking with 2. So the Warriors for me is really Drinkwater. If he goes big in the next couple of weeks, not owning him. Cleary I'll be looking to target next week, so that's not a problem. Savala I've got Katoa, Fogarty, so he's not really a threat. AFB I've got Tapani, KPP hasn't been performing that well lately. Duncan is a real threat. He's been on fire, but not worth bringing in. And neither Metcalf's obviously out. Cook is risky with his low minutes, and Hosking has just had the one good game recently. So I just wanted to chat about a few of the key players in my team. Jazz Tavanga, averaging 29 and 45 minutes at hooker is not ideal. He's got a break even of 54, which is not good considering that low average at hooker. He's 50% owned by the top 1k, so at least if he fails, we all fail. And he has got a 54 and a 61 in his last 3 at hooker, so there's potential there. And the 36 outlier, hopefully that was just, yeah, he had lower minutes in that one. He has bigger minutes in the two previous, so there is hope that he could go back to those bigger minutes. Ewan Aitken, averaging 36 at centre in 2025, and he's got a break even of 62. So both of those are not ideal. Again, similar to Tavanga, 40% owned by the top 1K, so if he fails, we all fail. Well, not all, but half of us. But 30 of his four scores at centre are 40 plus, so that's not too bad and could definitely hold him. So potential buys this week: Tristan Hope, averaging 47 and 69 minutes at hooker in reserve grade, so there's definite potential there. And at 230k, he's a perfect cash out option. De Silva's gone as well, so if anything were to happen to Uppy, he is knocking on the door to take that spot, and yeah, he seems like a great option if you need a cash out this week. Egan Butcher, with Wong out until round 22, he's got a good runway to make some cash, and he's priced at 30, averaging 50 on the edge in 79 minutes, 20 points of value, so he could definitely make some bank. No more buys and is good. Need an edge for 19, so that makes him appealing, and his data is from 2023 though, so there is a risk that he's not the starting edge for much longer, so that kind of puts me off, especially with Fekete being an option. Jacob Preston, 10% owned by the top 1K, so he's a nice pod. He's priced at 57 and a B of 70, so he's highly priced and potentially will come down in value after this week. But he really is the only gun on the board this week that I don't own. His 2024 average it was 55 and 71 minutes, and he's averaging 59 and 80 minutes this year, so that means he's still 2 points underpriced. He's got no more buys, and as mentioned, I need an edge for 19, so he is very appealing this week. Scott Drinkwater, 58% owned by the top 1K, so there's protection there if I were to get him, similar to Tavanga and Aitken, that if he goes poorly, I don't lose too badly. And he's priced at 40. He's got 7 out of 15 scores 55 plus, and he's averaging 50. So there's 10 points of value there. He's a great looper option. He's got one buy remaining, which isn't good. Ideally, you want to be buying players with no buys remaining. And I need a wing fullback or center for 18 and 19, so that makes him more appealing. On the flip side, my team is strong at the back, and do I really want Drinkwater in my final 17? Pappenhausen is very similar to Drinkwater, 13% owned by the top 1K, so he's a good pod, priced at 44 and averaging 48, so there's a bit of value there. He's less likely to get a high score in my opinion, but he has got 100, so there's upside. Great loop option and no more buys, and I need the wing fullback center for 18 and 19, so here's another good option. But again, do I want him in my final 17 when I've got Karaz, Teddy and JC already, and I've got Turbo as well? Eli Katoa, 13% owned by the top 1K, so he's a good pod as well. I'm sure he'll be more highly owned after this week. Priced at 52 and averaging 55, so he's got some value. Last three average of 59, so he's on form. The Storm have a good run home, and he's got no more buys, and I need an edge. So he seems like the best value pickup this week, with security of position and playing for a good team. Seems like a no-brainer. I just wanted to go through all the positions and look at the top players and who we should be targeting for the run home. Our decisions this week will impact who we pick up in the next couple of weeks, so it's very important to be thinking ahead. So with hooker, obviously Clark is a must-have. Last three average of 60, averaging 58, and he just looks solid. And Watson and Grant are the other two great options that we can look at for the run home. I've got Brayley in my team as a backup hooker, so I don't need another hooker. But if you wanted one, then either of those two would be great options. In the middle, we've got May as a must-have, Haas as a must-have, and then I've got Yo as a great option. Big Tino is a great option. Fanua Blake also, I expect him to be getting 60 minutes, which will be good for his output. And Colin Matangi. I haven't got Tapani in there. I do own him, and I wouldn't be selling him, but I wouldn't be buying him either. I'd be looking at those other guys ahead of Tapani. He's got the buy next week and then another buy, so definitely not someone that you want to target. On the edge, I've got Preston and Lucas as must-haves. Obviously, Lucas is more valuable at centre. Fermor as well provides that dual cover, making him a great option. Katoa, as mentioned, is a great option. And Angus Crichton after Origin should be a great option as well. He's underpriced. As you can see, I've only got two edges in the top 9, is it? Top 8. So I definitely need to bolster my edge ranks. Losing Couchman hurt, and having Aitken performing badly has hurt me as well. In the halves, we've got Cleary and Campbell as must-haves. Campbell with that duel is good. Katoa is a great option, and Fogarty is a great option as well. So after next week, I'll have 4 of those guys, and obviously Sharp's probably gone for the season, so my half stocks are really solid, and hopefully the thinking is come the back end of the season, the forwards are a bit wary and the halves can dominate. At centre, we've got 3 must-haves in Farnworth, Lucas, and Carraz. Carraz with that duel is very handy, and Fermor as well, great option, and Garrick is just a good option, not in the top tier, averaging just under 50 for the year. But as you can see, I've got the top 3, so no need for centres in my team, and that's why I'll be passing on making trades to fill the centre spot this week. It's just unfortunate that all the good centres are out, especially when we got Carraz last week for this position. At wing fullback, I've got Mitchell, Campbell, and Carraz as the must-haves. Teddy is a great option, and Turbo and Garrick are good options. As you can see, I've got 3 of the top 4 available, and then Garrick there, so very strong at the back. Mitchell is on form, averaging 61 in his last 3. Campbell's not informed down, so he probably going to drop some more cash so you can pick him up cheap if you don't have him. But he is definitely someone to target. Yeah, that's pretty much that. So my shopping list: Hooker, Watson is a great option, and Grant, great option. Middle, Yo, and Fasumalawi, great options. Edge, Preston is a must-have. Katoa's great. Half, Cleary's a must-have. And at wing fullback, Mitchell's a must-have. So in theory, I should be prioritizing Preston, Cleary, and Mitchell. But it's very tight. So just to test it, I bought in the 3 must-haves plus Hope for Couchman, Tavanga, Aitken, and Garrick, and it left me 1k to spare. So very tight, and I really need at least one of these guys to play this week. So considering I'm playing 2 centers short, and I think, yeah, it's very risky. And Mitchell's not playing next week anyway, so I don't need to worry about him so much. But doing this, my squad balance isn't great. Too back heavy in my opinion, so I'm not liking this option. So I just wanted to go through the end of year looping strategy. So kind of learnt something for next year, that I bought in Hunt for a looper, and as you can see, I only need a looper in round 25 and 27, as I've got 2 on bye most weeks. So really is no point getting a cash out looper option. You're better off getting a player that's going to play and potentially can be a scorer if you need it. And just looking at the looping table, so Knights were the best option if you did want a looper, and Tigers, and that's kind of why I am thinking Hope is a good option as well, because in 25 he plays in the last game, which is when I don't have a looping option, and he's in the 5th game in 27. So that's assuming he's not starting by then. And on the flip side, Hope's got upside if Uppy gets injured. So there are a couple of reasons why Hope works. Looking at my trade plans for this week, they're pretty straightforward. Sharp and Campbell out, we need reinforcements at the back. Sharp to Carraz is a no-brainer. The second trade was a bit more difficult, but I've landed on LKT to Drinky. Why sell LKT when he has a B of 14? The main reason being I have Fogarty and Hughes in the halves, and I have a better option to trade to an 18 in Latu Whainu if I need a half that week. Being able to use ZDC at hooker and push Jazz to the middle and Couchman to edge means I can handle an out in the hooker, mid or edge position without having to burn a trade next week. At this stage, making money is not as important to me as being as efficient as possible with trades, as we know they'll be so valuable. Making 2 this week leaves me with 5. So at this stage I got 2 options. Getting Preston in for Couchman and Katoa in for Aitken and Hope in for Tavanga. So that's burning 3 trades. Only leaves me 1 to go Garrick to Cleary next week. The benefits of this approach is that I avoid price drops of Aitken and Tavanga, which is likely. It gets me good scorers in Preston and Katoa, who are both going to outscore Aitken and Tavanga, and Hope is going to outscore Zach Docker Clay, I would say, as well. So it definitely improves my points. and improves my chances of being able to get Cleary next week as well. But it does leave me at risk if there's injuries. The safe, cautious approach, which I think a lot of coaches in the top 1K will go with, is to just go Couchman to Katoa. He is got a lower BE, he's pretty safe, and we can pick Preston up next week if he drops some cash. And having 3 trades for next week means I can react better to anything that pops up that we may have to deal with. And yeah, this would be the sensible approach, so I probably won't do it, but we'll see. Not long till lockout, and Preston plays in the first game, so it's a tough one. There is one other option, and I could go Aitken to Preston, would leave me 25k in the bank, and should definitely get me a better score. And then I can use looping Tavanga and Zach Docker Clay for my hooker spot, and then make the decision next week on who to get. I've just plugged in Talon De Silva at 230k, and I've got 36k to play with there. I'm quietly confident that Garrick should beat his break even and make some cash, so that makes it even easier. Yes, so 3 options on the board, 3 trades, 2 trades, or 1 trade. Keen to hear any of your thoughts. And yeah, or as always, decisions are never easy and you could go one way or the other. But generally, holding trades is always the right option. One last thought. With my poker tournament, I was out in third. I was third one out, so it was very disappointing. Tried a big bluff, and it didn't pay off. Got called by trips, so that was painful. And then I lost 2 pair versus a higher 2 pair. So my days in the high roller poker's numbered. But in I just wanted to relate my poker to my fantasy, and I'm a very aggressive poker player, and that's why I'm leaning towards doing the 3 trades, being aggressive when everyone's going to be holding trades this week. If I can jump on Preston and Katoa and everyone plays Tavanga and Aitken, well, 50% of them, and if that's like a 20-30 point swing on both players, that should get me a big jump. So I'm very tempted to do that. Keen to hear your thoughts, as said, and yeah, good luck everyone, and I will see you in the next video.